Alright, hello everyone. So this is our very first podcast episode.
First episode ever.
Ever, yeah?
Ever.
Of Lounge Talks
Lounge Talks.
with Ben and Syafiq. So that's our names basically, of course. Alright. So I guess Ben, do you mind maybe telling us a bit more about like what is this podcast really about? Like what do we want to do actually?
So I guess we're gonna talk about life, talk about optometry, we're gonna talk about all the fun little tidbits of life.
True.
We're gonna see where this leads us. We're gonna see
Precisely.
where this goes in the first 53 episodes. 52.
Yeah, because I mean our plan is like we want to make it like a 1 year thing, you know,
Yes.
and then from there we'll see how it goes, you know, if there's any engagement, if people want to dive a bit more into it, we're more than happy to do it. And then but if not, look, it's an experience, two bros hanging out, just sharing our experience basically.
See what happens.
You know?
We see what happens.
Yeah, true, yeah. So maybe one of the first things that we can do is actually talk a bit more about like how we actually started, you know. Yeah, like maybe a bit more about like maybe a bit more personal about ourselves as people, what we do, what we enjoy, you know.
Who are we?
Who are we?
Who are we?
Who are we? Okay. Yeah. So Ben, please start off.
So we start off. So my name is Ben. Technically from Malaysia. Back in the day, at time we did travel around a little bit when I was still a kid, like going to Shanghai for 4 years, and then we came to Perth ever since primary school. So that's like what, like primary 5?
Wow.
Primary 5, and end of primary 5 going to primary 6. Because like in like Malaysia and all that, right? Because you guys do start of the year differently.
Oh, okay. Like how is it different?
Because I think in Australia, right, they do it based on month.
Okay.
So like if you're June onwards, you go in like the next cohort.
Right. Okay.
And then
I get what you mean.
and then like May before, then you're in like the previous cohort. So like in all the classes, I'm always the youngest. And then I'm just like, oh, I'm 1999. I'm like, yeah, I'm just 2000.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
But then we did that for a while, and then high school in Perth, and then we went to Deakin Uni just for optometry. But yeah, because back in the day, we never had optometry in Perth. Yeah, and then the course just started quite recently. And then we have like the final year students just graduating this year.
Yeah.
Technically today.
Is it?
Yeah, the graduation is today.
No way.
Yeah. So like
today the date is what's the date today?
what's the date today?
Okay, I don't know why it's not showing you, but I'll have to look at my phone. 18th of December. Wow. Okay.
3 years, mark of 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, since the start of optometry in Perth. Yeah, and then like we did that. We basically did optometry in Deakin for 3.5 years. And then we came back to Perth, started working for 2 years, and then I met this guy, the best bro ever, honestly. And then we have some funny stories to tell, things to discuss. I guess we try and keep this more like like light-hearted.
That's right.
Comedy, a little bit of educational things. Like we talk about a bit of optometry, things like you guys want to know. Let us know. Leave in the comment sections down below.
Down below,
guys.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens.
True.
So what about you? What about you?
For me, I think my journey is definitely a bit more different. So I actually started off in Singapore. I was born and raised in Singapore, and I would say I went through the typical route of someone who lives in Singapore, like, you know, started off obviously like in nursery, then kindergarten, and then primary school, secondary school. But where it eventually led me was in Polytechnic. I actually took the Diploma of Optometry course. Alright. So to be honest, I actually didn't know what I wanted to do, and it was actually my mom who actually recommended, hey, why not you try this out? So so I tried it. I realized I was good at it, but I wasn't like super passionate about it when I first started. And I think there's a bit more of like story into it, which I think we'll maybe discuss a bit more in future podcasts, you know. But basically, I found my passion overseas while I was in India, you know, out of all places in India, doing some sort of an exchange.
Like an exchange, like a placement there.
That's right. Yeah. So after that, coming back, I had a new appreciation for it, and since then I knew I wanted to do optometry. And from there, after I finished my Polytechnic diploma study, I had to do 2 years of national service in Singapore, which all of us boys to men have to go through, you know.
Our boys to men.
Our boys to men, precisely, yeah. And then what happened from there was that I decided to come over to Brisbane. So I actually did my undergrad and my postgrad in optometry at QUT. So that's the Queensland University of Technology. And it was a great 3 years, I would say.
Only 3 years, man.
Only 3 for me. So the thing was that, so it's supposed to be a 3 years undergrad and 2 years postgrad or masters.
Yeah.
But because like I did diploma in Singapore, right?
Oh, so
so
they
I got 2
carry
years
forward.
of credit.
Nice.
Yeah, so I only need
nice.
to do 1 year of undergrad
And then the rest
and then
is
2
just
years of
postgrad.
masters.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad of a deal, honestly,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, so it was great. It was good. I really enjoyed my time in uni, meeting a lot of friends and whatnot. And actually, my career here in optometry started off in Perth, and I was actually in a different store, you know. So I started off working in a corporate at another store, you know, and I mean, I think it's fine for us to name the location anyway, you know. Yeah, it was in Willerton. So I started working in a corporate practice in Willerton for about 4 years, and then I moved over to Livingston, where I met you. Then, you know, so that's where Ben and I, we work in a corporate practice, and that's when we met, and I think we pretty much hit it off on day one.
Yeah, because I remember like the day you said you signed on, I think I came to your room and you're like, oh bro, I signed on at the store. I'm like, let's go, let's go. We have a bro now.
That's right, yeah, because I was pretty much doing like locum, so I was full-time in the Willerton branch, but then I was also doing a bit of locuming work, which for those of you guys who might not know, so locuming is basically when like you work as an independent contractor of your own in a different store, you know. Basically, it's like freelancing in a way.
Yeah, it's like casual. It's basically casual.
Casual, basically, yeah. So that's the easiest way to put it as a locum optometrist. And from becoming a locum, I actually decided to join that store full time, and I was there for actually 9 months, and I actually started at just a new store now in Joondalup since 2 weeks ago, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's a bit of my optometry journey in a way. And one thing also, as you know, and actually a lot of people might know about this about me also, is that I am one of those guys who's just super passionate about like myopia management, you know. So basically like that study of like short-sightedness. So it's like how we try to slow down, or in some cases stop short-sightedness, especially in young kids who are progressing. So that's something that I can literally go on hours talking about it.
We might do an episode. We might do like a 1 hour episode of just Syafiq
like,
and myopia control.
Damn. Look, I'm not saying I'm an expert at it, but I think I've read. I'm very passionate about it. I've read quite a lot about it, and also I've managed quite a number of kids, you know, with the different management options that are available. So that's my story.
So you guys want to know more about myopia control? This is your guy right here.
This is your guy right here.
This is your in Perth.
In Perth.
In Perth.
Yeah. Cannot say possible, but if people want to travel to see me,
actually also can. You never know.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. So let's have a look. As you guys know, this is our first episode, so we're just trying to keep it casual, you know. And let's see. So we've talked about uni, why we're here, and what we have done. So next thing, you know, just a bit about talking about life and just things in general.
In general.
Yeah. So
look at all these plushies we have here.
Yes. Let's address the
elephant in the room.
Which are the plushies?
All the plushies and all the cushions that we have.
Alright, so I think one thing when we were thinking about doing this is that we want to make this like our very own podcast where we are comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we realized that, hey, you know what? Like we have to bring a bit of our character into it. You know?
Bring a little bit of decorations.
And plushies. Maybe Ben, you would like to enlighten us why plushies?
I just find them cute.
That's it, guys.
How can you say no to this?
Yeah, and apparently mine is like a Mario one. Is it Super Mario?
I think so.
Yeah, so
it's like all
and
the
there's
mushrooms.
the mushrooms. Okay,
like
there's
the
green
one-up
mushrooms, and this is the star.
Yeah, the star.
And then we got the red mushroom.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's 3 mushrooms like this. I can't take it out. It's
Oh,
actually.
we just haven't cut it yet.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, you don't really have to. Yeah. So this actually bringing a bit of Ben into it, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
So and of course we are filming this, you know, at Ben's place at the moment. So of
Technically
course
my parents'
it's
place.
yeah, technically his parents' place, you know. Yeah. So just a disclaimer, it's not my place, guys. Yeah.
Just a disclaimer.
Yeah. So I think this is something that like for myself and Ben, you know, we just want to try to keep it light. You know, we want it to be relatable, if anything.
Yeah.
And just again, we are still trying to find our voice, to be honest. So
We're still the newbies.
we are
Newbies in
still
the
the
block.
newbies, you know. And honestly, like there might be 100 people that watch this, or there might be 2.
Maybe there may just be one.
Yeah, or 1.
One.
And honestly,
Our-
we
our-
appreciate it.
our
Two,
own
two,
views.
two. Me
Oh,
and you.
yeah.
So we at least gonna have 2.
You're gonna have 2 views at
Okay.
least. But
Yeah.
anything extra, it's a win. It's a win.
It is a win.
It's
It
a
is a win. Yeah. And something well about life, I guess. 2 weeks ago, guess what?
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually
you
went
went
to a
to a
comedy
comedy-
show.
comedy
I went to a comedy show. Yeah, it's okay. So one thing about me, I actually enjoy comedy a lot. All right. So since like a young age, if anything.
Cool.
Yeah, and one thing that I realized is that different comedians hits differently. So some of the famous ones that, you know, as I was growing up, I listened to them a bit more was like the Russell Peters, and then there were also what others are there? Trevor Noah is a bit
Trevor Noah.
a bit
Trevor
more
Noah,
newer,
Trevor
the
Noah.
up and coming one. Nowadays there's like Andrew Schultz. There's basically a lot of comedians, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is one which is honestly my personal favorite, and it's Gabriel Iglesias. Like
What's his
he's
nickname? What's his nickname?
fluffy,
Fluffy.
Okay, so and to me, like I just find him very relatable, man. Like he is so chill. He does comedy differently. So usually when the comedy is done right, you will find that there are some comedians who like they just kind of lash on their
They're like one persona.
and they just maybe make fun of the crowd in one way or another. He does it very differently where he actually just talk about his life, man. He talk about his own personal life and about interesting things that happened to him and all that. And I've been watching him literally right for like at least 10 years.
Wow.
Easily 10 years on YouTube.
You're showing your
Right.
age. You're showing your age.
I know. I'm old, guys. I'm not young. Okay, I'm not in my 20s anymore. Yeah, but the thing about it is that like when I wanted to see him in person, right? It always dawns upon me like, will he be the same or is he going to be different? Is he going to live up to expectation? The answer is
Yes.
he did.
He did.
He did, and even more.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's very nice when you see them very personable, you know, when like you see them in real life and like, because usually what happens in live shows, right, is that they usually try to test out their new content, their new jokes that they want to try out, because usually they have maybe like a Netflix special. Yeah, so before
Because he
doing,
did a lot, right? Of Netflix.
I think he's done 2 or 3 Netflix specials already by now. Yeah, so I won't be surprised if there's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think I've watched all of it. I think only the latest one I haven't really watched, but I know he's gonna do another one probably. Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Yeah, so that's something that I really enjoy. I went with my wife and my sister, who's actually in Perth for a while now, and also another one of our friends. Yeah, so basically, comedy, man. It's really fun because like one thing I like about comedians, right? They talk about real
life issues.
They talk about real
like
life
in
issues
like a very
in a
funny
very
way.
light-hearted way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's what makes it unique, you know. Yeah. So how about you, Ben? Anything interesting been happening with life? Yeah.
So far, we're actually going to Monet tomorrow.
Oh.
Monet in Paris.
Okay.
Yeah, probably going with like a
Nice.
few friends
Yeah.
for that one. But no, nothing much. Just every day go to uni, uni 4 days a week,
Yeah.
and then locoming around.
Yeah. So maybe you wanna clarify a bit. You're in uni. What are you doing in uni, Ben?
Oh, so I just started my PhD.
Oh, nice.
Like 4 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks now.
Yeah.
It's been good. It's been good so far. So good.
Mm.
You try and I guess it's just because we're going towards Christmas break, so it's more just like setting up the foundations,
Yes.
and then like from January onwards we start things rolling. Get
Okay.
things done. We get
Makes
things
sense.
done. We get this done 2024.
True.
Get
True.
things done.
No, it's true. But so like, how's the experience like getting into a PhD? Is it pretty much what you expected, or is it something that was like, no, it's totally different than what you would think it is? Yeah.
the main things would be it's very independent. Like the supervisor there have to help you out, but then the work that you do on your own is very much like your own unique work, which is quite cool. Basically, you get to shape the whole topic around what you want to do, and then you build upon that research, and then the supervisor are there just to help you out, give you tips and tricks, gives you some hints like which road you should go to, and then just to see which kind of literature you need, how to write like more scientific, more fine-tuning things. But the general gist of things that you basically make everything yourself. So it's quite cool. It's actually quite cool. But like I guess like that's just because I'm the start of the PhD. And then once I go deeper into it, you'll be like, oh my god, I haven't slept in like 3 days.
Yeah, true. So I guess it's something that as time goes by, it's gonna be really interesting, you know, just to see how like your PhD progresses over time and just the experience that you're gonna have. Because like if you think about it, you are definitely going to be from my understanding, you're pretty much now in like the planning phase of the research, and then eventually you're going to go into the research phase, which is like you have to maybe bring subjects in, you have to do some tests and things like that. So I think like from my understanding, I feel like that's where most people or most PhD candidates spend the majority of the time. And then if you think that that's hard, I think that the harder bit, from what I've heard from a friend of mine who's doing her PhD, is that it's more of what comes after. Which is like the writing of the thesis, the interpretation of the results, and then you know, so it's
the code. You have to use all the softwares to code all the data.
That's right. So I think it's really interesting, guys. You know, just to find out. So stay tuned to our podcast for sure. You know, just to see how Ben tracks over time with his PhD. Who knows? This might be a podcast about Ben's PhD.
We should change the name. We should change the name.
We might change the name.
Yeah, you never know.
So you know, because again, we are just trying to see where this podcast goes.
Yeah,
you know?
we see where the road leads.
We see where the road leads us.
Life is a journey.
It's the journey. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Good. So I think we've pretty much covered that pretty well. Next thing. So we're diving into it. Why we chose optometry?
You want to go first?
Okay. I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, because I feel like your story is a lot more interesting.
In a way, okay. So I have actually told this story quite a few times by now already, you know. And basically, my story of optometry started. Initially, I was like I mentioned in the beginning, I didn't know what I wanted to do after my in Singapore we call it O-levels. So after O-levels, pretty much you have a choice to either go to what we call a junior college in Singapore, where you pretty much do like year 11 or 12 over here in Australia, or you can go into to take a diploma for like 3 years, you know. I choose to go down that route of going for a diploma. The only issue was that at this point of time in my life, I was sick of science. I didn't want to do anything with science anymore because like I've been doing like biology, chemistry and physics the big three as like individual subjects, you know. And why I say individual subjects, so in Singapore we have this thing where we call combined science. I'm not sure how is it now, but back in my day, shows my age.
Shows your age.
This was about.
You don't have to say the year.
Yeah, I don't say the year exactly, but basically,
back in the day.
Back in the days, okay, but definitely it was more than 10 years ago. Okay, it was more than 10 years ago. Yeah, this is called combined sciences, which you can take. If you take a combined subject of a science, right, it means that, for instance, you take chemistry and biology as like a combined science, which means that it's technically a bit easier for you when you're taking the test in a way, right? Or you can take it what we call pure. So when you do pure biology, pure physics, and pure chemistry,
so you do like the individual subjects.
You do the individual subjects, and they go a bit more deeper into it.
Oh.
Yeah. So I did that triple. We used to call it triple pure. All right. Yeah, which is triple science. That's what we used to call it. And honestly, after doing that, I was sick of science, and I didn't want to do science at all. I wanted to actually do like a business course. But unfortunately enough for me, my points were not enough to do business. Yeah, so I guess I had to do some kind of science. And again, my mom was the one who actually decided to try, hey, why not you try optometry and see how it goes? And honestly, one of the things that we're considering back then was that in the brochure for for the course itself, it actually states that optometry is one of those diplomas where after you graduate, you do actually earn a bit more than normal average diploma holders.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, okay, cool. I think back then diploma holders were getting about 1,800 a month, but optometry got like 2,400, something like that.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
But one thing they don't tell you is that because if you're in optometry, you're in retail, and you have to work usually 5 to 6 days a week back then anyway, and you're working anywhere between 10 to 12 hours a day. So you're actually, in my opinion, you're just working more hours.
Yeah.
So you're not really, you get paid more, Yeah. So if that makes sense. Anyway, coming back to the main thing is that so I was in my first and second year of optometry, and honestly, I was good at subjects. I was really acing my subjects in a way. However, I didn't really enjoy it as much. I was just good at optometry, but I wasn't really passionate about it.
Yeah.
So what happened is that after my second year of optometry, right, at the end of it, we had a student exchange program where myself, a group of friends, I think there were about 14 of us, all right? Yeah, so, and with I think 2 or 3 of our lecturers, we went over to India, to be specific, Chennai. Yeah. So we went over to Chennai, and there were 2 things that the main thing we're doing. Number one, we were at the villages area, where we went out every single day via like a small like mini van or bus, and then we basically just did what we call vision screening, just checking people's eyes, all right? On top of that, we also had placement in the hospitals where we saw seriously interesting stuff, like things you rarely see in Australia, you see over there like every day. Yeah, like all those nasty eye conditions,
Like untreated eye conditions.
Yeah, precisely, because like most of them can't really afford, and even they have the condition and they're in pain, most of them don't really do anything much about it, But that hospital that we went to, I'm gonna butcher the name, okay? But I think it's like Shankara Netralaya or something like that. Yeah. So it's one of the big hospitals, eye hospitals in Chennai there. Yeah, and yeah, it's an amazing hospital. They do a lot of really good work over there. Basically, so one of the days I remember being at the village areas when we were just testing eyes, and this lady, literally, she was maybe in her, I don't know, late 60s or 70s maybe, so a really old lady in a way. And I could tell like she definitely had a bit of cataracts, so basically she can't see well, because there's like, her lenses, it's all being blocked, there's no light entering her eyes. And I recall that like I managed to do like a quick retinoscopy, which basically, we just did a rough measurement of their prescription. And then from there, I found a pair of glasses that's closer to her prescription. I put it on her face, and she lighted up, man. She lighted up, and she was like, oh my god, I can see. I mean, she didn't say that, but like the fact that her expression shows, because she held my hand and saying like thank you in her language, which is Tamil. Back then I remembered, now I forgot what it was, but basically that was the moment for me that I felt like, wow, with the skills I have, I can help someone. And since then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do optometry. Nice. Yeah, and I guess that's where when I started third year of optometry in Singapore, I had a new appreciation for the field itself. For the first time, I felt that like something that I do or skill that I have can be used to help someone else. Yeah, and hence that's why like it's been something that I've been going on. So that's how I stumbled upon optometry and came to Perth and still doing it. So technically, I graduated in Singapore as an optometrist back in 2013. Now it's 2023, man. So at the end of 2023 December. So it's a good 10-year celebration. Yeah.
Nice. 10-year anniversary.
10-year anniversary. Yeah. So yeah, one of those things. So that's my story about optometry, Ben.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you? How's your story?
Mine's clearly not as interesting as yours. Definitely not. Yeah, to be honest, like I chose optometry was just purely from the fact like just want to know more about eyes. Like it is like the second like most complex organ that we have. Like just how we perceive images. Because back in uni they taught us how the way you perceive something is actually like flipped upside down. So that the world is actually like flipped, but then your brain interprets as like it's upright. So that was quite interesting into optometry. But I guess that the whole profession itself was just wanted to like treat people. More like healthcare setting, things like that. I guess that's just where like my passion lies, just like pure healthcare helping patients, things like that. But yeah, in terms of the whole why we chose optometry, I would say, I guess like the more cliche answer is because I have short-sightedness and I wanted to know more about short-sightedness. Because I also want to know more about like eye diseases and all that. And to be honest, it's like a pretty good job. Not gonna lie, it's a pretty good job. Less like working hours, less stress than all like my medicine friends, my dental friends. They're like, oh my god. So yeah, optometry is pretty good. It's pretty good, I would say.
Okay, yeah. So as our audience can see, like, you know, we all of us might have come from different places as to how we started optometry, but the fact that we are here now doing what we are doing in terms of like how I see optometry from a different lens, you see optometry from a different lens, but at the end of the day, we do want to help our patients basically. And I think that's what's important for most optometrists to, or actually any health professional to really acknowledge that at the end of the day, with the skills we have, we can help other people. So why not utilize it, you know? Yeah, so yeah, no, that was actually good for us to kind of explore that, you know? Yeah. Okay, next bit, let's see. So, some cases that we've maybe have gone through, some interesting ones.
Yeah, so we can talk about some interesting cases.
Let's talk about that. Yeah,
What
so
is an interesting case?
maybe you can go first, Ben. Was there any interesting case that you recall? Like the first thing when I say interesting case that really hits you and you're like, oh, okay, I have to share this one.
Oh, we had this when was this, like 3 months ago? No, more than that. Probably 6 months.
Yeah.
But he basically came in, he had started getting floaters in his eyes, and then like this happened for like 2 weeks before seeing us. And then he came in on a Sunday, I think it's at like 4 o'clock. So this is like literally when we were about to close. He comes in and then we set him down, we put some drops in. The minute we looked at his eyes, we were like, oh no, you need to go to the emergency like right now.
Why is that?
So it's like his whole temporal field is like it's all detached. You know how when you do like Vogue or like when you look at the back of the eyes with this special lens, you can start seeing folds on the retina. And then I just looked at it once, I'm like, oh no, you need to go straight to the ED, like literally right now. So we sent him to the ED. I tried calling like the different hospitals, but I guess because it's Sunday, so not people are open. But then he had to wait for a while to get his treatment. But then at the end, like 2 weeks after he came back, he was very thankful that I detected the detachment. He was able to be seen quite quickly, because he went in on Sunday to the hospital, but I think he was seen like Monday morning. So yeah, and then he got his treatment done, and everything he's doing well. He's doing well now.
That's great. That's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And was there anything else from that particular case that you maybe learned about, or was there anything else that was interesting about it?
Quite stock standard, to be honest. But I guess like he didn't really have flashes. So like I guess just for the audience, like whenever you start seeing like floaters or like flashes of lights or like little stringy little lines that you see in your vision, those are what we call floaters. So if you ever see anything like that and you're concerned, like just go to your eye care professional, like either your optometrist, just like your local optometrist. They can double check your eyes, make sure there's nothing wrong, and then hopefully there's nothing wrong. But if there is any issues, we'll definitely refer you on.
True. Yeah. That's it, by Ben.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. What about you?
Alright, for me, there's one which I recall, and actually I was a graduate back then. Maybe a couple months into, so this was maybe about 5 years ago. This one was interesting for me because, so this man coming in, right? He was probably in his mid-40s, and he hasn't had his eye test maybe in about 5 years. So yeah, he's just coming in for like normal glasses basically. Plus, he has diabetes, so he needed to get his eyes checked basically, as we know, because diabetes can cause a condition in the eye called diabetic retinopathy. Long story short, it basically means that the diabetes can affect the retina, causing some vision issues sometimes, So we did that, alright, so I actually put some drops in his eyes to make it nice and big, so we had a good look at the back. Everything was fine. Oh, okay, sorry, I thought my phone was going up. Okay, yeah. So everything looks fine in terms of the diabetes. He needed reading glasses, but he mentioned one particular symptom which was very odd to me. which was, things looks a bit more dim to me these days. And it's a symptom that almost no one ever says that. Like, what do you mean by things look dim? Like, you just have to turn the lights up, right? If you think about it. So, I had a look at the features of his eyes. His eye pressures were fine, his optic nerve, the back of the eye. It made me look a bit suspicious that he might have a condition called glaucoma, where, for the audience, basically it's an eye condition where you start to lose vision from your periphery, all right, to eventually you might get what we call tunnel vision, all right. So basically, I just decided to do the test called the visual fields test, which then we detected that he has glaucoma. But of course, seeing that for the first time, what I did was that, because I saw that his eye pressure was not like really high, but it wasn't like super low anyway. Yeah. So maybe it was in the high teens, if anything. So I did start him on some anti-glaucoma drugs to try to bring down the eye pressure, but I also referred him off to see an ophthalmologist. Yeah. We didn't see him for another 2 years actually. Yeah, but he did come back to the store and stuff. But that was not where I saw him. I actually saw him while I was just walking in the shopping center, and he saw me actually, and he actually said hi, and then he was like, I asked him, yes, I remember you, like, how's things going? So, and he told me, look, like, it's good, like, he's been using his glaucoma drops now, anti-glaucoma drops, and his glaucoma is managed, so he was diagnosed with glaucoma. I did get the referral from the specialist stating that was the issue. And it was interesting because he was only coming in to get reading glasses, and from reading glasses we checked his diabetes, and then from that also, having a look at the back of his eyes, we realized he might have glaucoma. So, and it's again one of those things where, because we detected it early, right, so we are able to refer him off in order to kind of save his vision, if anything. Yeah, so I guess that's where it's very important, guys, to just go for a regular checkup. It's important, especially if you do have any systemic condition. But even if you don't, we usually recommend once every 2 years minimum. Of course, if you do wear glasses and things like that, and you do want to get your eyes checked more regularly, once a year is fair. Yeah, but if not, even for you guys who have like perfect vision, there's no harm in testing your eyes at least once every 2 years. Not just to make sure the vision is okay, but more importantly,
the eye health.
The eye health. That's the main thing. You want to make sure that that's healthy. Yeah, so I guess that's my interesting story.
Nice.
Yeah.
There'll be more interesting stories in the future.
So many, I feel.
Yeah, I guess like if you guys ever want to know anything, just leave it down in the comments.
Yeah,
I guess.
leave it in the comment if like there's other conditions you guys do want us to talk about, because I feel like there's just so many, and I guess the main ones Ben and I will be talking about, but if there's something a bit more specific you guys want to dive a bit more into, feel free to tell us in the comments. And just leading on to that, maybe we should discuss and share with them, what we might want to do for this podcast in the future.
For the next 51 episodes.
51 episodes.
51 weeks.
Yeah.
So you're going to talk about more our life.
Yes.
Mixing with a pinch of humor,
Yep.
pinch of comedy, sprinkle a little bit of life lessons here and there. But no, we're going to try and make this more like optometry plus just our life in general.
That's right.
And then that's like, I guess that's like the whole point of this podcast. Like we wanted to start this off as an optometry plus lifestyle podcast. Just two bros, literally, like two bros talking about life, enjoying life. That's what I would say.
Pretty much it, yeah. And I think coming up also, we do want to bring some guests into the show for them to like basically talk about their experiences in the world of optometry or in the world of optics, or even, who knows, one day maybe some ophthalmologists, like eye doctors,
if they ever find the time.
Basically, guys, they are very busy people, and we do appreciate if they are ever able to spend some time to talk about something that they themselves are really keen and interested about. So we will just see how it goes. I think we do have some plans to bring on board one of the guys who so there is someone who we know, who is doing a bit more like homeless eye care for optometry. We also do have some people who are actually currently working in different optometry practices, you know, who we might bring on board just to share like their point of view of the whole thing.
The whole story.
That's right, yeah. And I guess these are the things that we want to bring a bit more forward into. But of course, like, we also want to know what you guys want to see, because at the end of the day, we want to enjoy doing this. We're just two bros hanging out, and we also want to bring value, if anything, you know. So if there's anything, let us know. Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that pretty much concludes our first episode, Ben.
We did it.
We did it.
We did
First
it.
episode.
First episode.
Alright? Yeah, so what we're gonna do from here, I'm just gonna tell the audience as a show of like we're really gonna commit to it, which is that we are gonna do our best. Today, we're gonna edit this.
Let's go.
And then today, we're gonna
publish
this.
Today.
Okay, today.
Alright.
Today.
Alright.
We are gonna do
Alright,
this.
we're gonna do
Okay?
this.
We are gonna do this, okay? So today, what's the date? It's the 18th of December. So you guys should see it on the 18th of December. I mean, hopefully the internet connection and everything is fine.
Yeah, hopefully.
But like, it should be up, okay?
It should be up.
Should be up. For those in the US, it might be the day after.
No. Is it the
Or is it the day before?
Day before.
Yeah, but you guys get it. So by the 18th, it should be up, okay?
Yeah.
So we are really gonna do our best, and
Australia Standard Time.
yeah, and look, the thing is that it's not like we are trying to rush ourselves to post this, but it's more of like we want to make this commitment for ourselves, so that like
just like
we
a
don't-
challenge.
Yeah, so that we don't delay, because look, we've been talking about doing this podcast now for
3 months.
At least 3 months.
I disappeared for a month. I
at
disappeared.
least 3 months, you know.
Yeah.
So like, let's get on to it.
Let's
get on
let's
to
do
it. Yeah.
this.
So this is
Atomic habits.
accountability. This is accountability for both Ben and myself.
Yes.
For you guys, you know, for us to post this. Okay. So let us know what you think about our episode today, and please feel free. Always reach out to us. We are more than happy to talk to you guys. We don't really have socials at the moment, but
Just
YouTube,
handle our own.
we
handle
have
our own socials.
That's right. Yeah. So maybe
Yeah,
we'll just probably put
Yeah,
our
we'll probably
own
put-
social handles.
Yeah, and
right?
then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I
Why
mean,
do like
mine. We can maybe talk about our Instagram handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
so
you just leave it
mine,
in the
yeah, we'll just leave it
description.
in the description here. But basically, mine is just my name, Syafiq Kusni. It's a bit of a hard one, but I'll just spell it out for the audience. Okay. All right. SYAFIQ. That's my name, and then KUSNI. That's my surname. So Syafiq Kusni. That's my handle for Instagram. How about yours, Ben? What's yours?
Mine's Ben and then like underscore SY underscore Lee.
There you go, guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it's gonna be down there.
But it's gonna be down there, so you guys will be able to view it. Okay. All right, that's us. Yeah.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
First episode of Podcast Lounge. Is it Podcast Lounge?
Is it Launch Talks?
Yeah. Sorry.
Podcast.
Okay.
Lounge.
First episode. First episode of Lounge Talks with Ben and Syafiq. Signing off.
Signing off.
Peace, guys.
Peace.
Oh, this way. Okay.
Peace.
Oh, this way. Okay. Alright. Say, sekali we never record.
Hey, imagine.